CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Okay, CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. So using CSS, CSS is a style sheet language. CSS is a style sheet language. Style sheet language. Style sheet language, and used for describing the look and feel of the website. Feel of the website. Okay, CSS is a style sheet language used for describing the look and feel of the website. Look and feel of the website means, so we can arrange the background color or background image for the HTML document, and we can set the color, text colors, and font styles. Okay, we can display the images. So everything we can do, like animation also we can make in HTML forms. So we can change the look and feel of the document which is written in HTML. Okay, CSS is a style that defines layout of HTML documents. So for example, so we can cover using CSS. Using CSS, we can cover fonts and colors and margins. Okay, and paddings, background. Okay, and many more is there. Okay, number of features is there. So so there are uh, three ways of inserting a style sheet in HTML. Okay, for, before that, so we need to know the syntax of our CSS syntax. So we can include CSS properties. Okay, using style tag. Use style tag in HTML to include CSS properties. Okay, to write CSS properties. So in HTML document, anywhere we can write, anywhere we can include style tag. Okay, in HTML form, anywhere we can include style tag. Even uh, in header section or in body section. Okay, so even in body section or header section we can include. So use style tag to insert CSS properties. Like if you want to apply CSS properties like the background color and text color for the paragraph. Okay, so like this we can write CSS properties. So between these flower brackets we need to write CSS properties. Okay, CSS properties. So after complete the syntax, so there are three ways of inserting CSS properties in HTML. Three ways of inserting CSS properties in HTML document. So first one is external style sheet. Okay, second one internal styles. Third one inline styles. Okay, so these are the three ways of inserting CSS properties in HTML document. So first one is an external style sheet is uh, external style sheet is ideal when the style is uploaded to many pages. Okay, suppose if you want to change page background or font style. Okay, page background or font style. So just you can modify in .css file. Okay, just you can modify in .css file, so it will reflect to entire application. Okay, it will reflect to the entire application. So with an external style sheet, you can change the look and feel of the entire website by changing in .css file. Okay, so for external style sheet syntax, so we need to write CSS properties in separate file with the .css extension. Okay, save that external style sheet with the .css extension. Okay, create the .css file, and you can call that CSS file in the HTML form header section. So we have header section in HTML form. Okay, so within this header section, we can use link tag and href equal to .css file path. Okay, so actually where we store the CSS file in our project folder. Okay, give that file path and style sheet and relation attribute. Okay, so this is the syntax to call that .css file. Okay, so we can call CSS file in body section also. So same like this in body section, HTML body section also we can call using link tag. So for example, just create one HTML form. Okay, sample. So take one paragraph, so with some content. Okay, so assume that this is the content to display in the paragraph. Okay, and so if you are using Notepad, okay, to write CSS properties, save that Notepad with the .css extension. Okay, so in Visual Studio, so we have the template for the style sheet, my styles. So my styles.css file. Okay, so in Visual Studio, .NET Editor, IDE, so there is a template for the CSS. So directly .css file is created. So now for this paragraph, background color and text color I want to apply. So directly you can write CSS properties in CSS .css file. Background color. So always use color codes only. So when you are implementing real-time applications, okay. So always use color codes only. So don't use color names like red, white, yellow. So like that don't use. So always use color codes only. So color codes. So I will give the URL. So paragraph background color and text color. Paragraph is the white color. So in Google, like you can type HTML color codes. So first one. Okay, so this is our color code. Okay, so you can use this color code or RGB color code. So for each and everything, separate color codes. Okay, so don't use color names. So this is the link to find out the color codes. Okay, so now, so we created one .css file. So call that CSS file in header section. mystyles.css. Okay, and type equal to text CSS style sheet. Okay, so now run this example. Okay, so paragraph background color and text color is applied. So go to inspect. You can see here paragraph, the total HTML code. Okay, paragraph is there. So with the paragraph, for this paragraph, background color and text color is okay displaying here. So this CSS properties written in mystyles.css file. Okay, this CSS styles is in line number 1. Okay, line numbers also will shown here. So and the CSS file name with the line number also will display here. So maximum almost real-time applications. Okay, real-time applications call .css files in header section only. Okay, JavaScript always call in the end of the body section. Okay, so that so application performance will increase. So this is the external file example, external style sheet example, and second one is Internal style sheets. Internal style sheets should be used when the single document has a unique styles. Okay, internal style sheet should be used when a single HTML document. Okay, when a single document has a unique styles, has a unique styles. Syntax in a header section, in header section of HTML document, use style tag. Okay, style tag. In the style tag directly we can write CSS properties. Background color. Okay, so some example background color and text color. Okay, so like this we can write. So don't use .css files for internal style sheets. For external style sheets, you can use .css files. For internal style sheets, for internal styles, directly we can write CSS properties in the HTML document header section with the help of style attribute, style tag. Okay, style tag. So create one HTML document, internal styles. Okay, so take one div tag. So this div tag contains some content, and I want to apply div height and width. Okay, div background color and div text color. So like this I want to apply. Use style tag, and directly we can use element name to apply CSS properties. Div height 300 pixels, height and width also same 300 pixels. Next, background color for div background color. We can use this color. Okay, and the text color. Okay, so I will explain this padding. Okay, in later classes. So these are the CSS properties. So I want to apply for the div tag. So now run this example. Okay, div height 300 pixels and width also 300 pixels. Okay, go to inspect and you can check here. Okay, div height 300 pixels and width 300 pixels, and background color and text color white, and padding 10 pixel. 10 pixel padding is gap between, okay, gap between content, okay, element content and element border. So there is a gap between content and element border, right? So you can observe here. Okay, gap is increasing. Okay, this is the gap. Okay, this is what padding. So padding is nothing but gap between element content and element border. So this is the CSS properties applied using internal styles. Okay, and third one, inline styles. So when a when a small piece of code when a small piece of code piece of code need different styles different styles when a small piece of code need different styles. Okay, then we can write or use inline styles inline styles mm, use style attribute use style attribute to write inline styles. Syntax. So directly I want to apply text color for the paragraph. So we have this paragraph. This is my sample paragraph. Okay. Then just I want to apply text color only for this paragraph. Okay. Little bit small property. Okay. So use style attribute and the text color like so this is the red color, right? Red color or anything. Okay. So this is the inline styles. So just use style attribute and write CSS properties. So when a small piece of code needs different styles, so in that scenario we can use inline styles. So create an HTML form for inline styles. Just copy this paragraph. Okay, and run this example. Okay, so this is the inline styles. Okay, paragraph color is applied. Okay, F00. Okay, paragraph text color is only red color is applied. So these are the three ways to include CSS properties in HTML documents. Okay, external style sheets, external style sheets, internal styles, and inline styles. So these are the three ways. And one more important concept is CSS selectors. Okay, CSS selectors. So using these selectors, we can apply CSS properties based on their ID, name, and class. Okay, so here we have three type of selectors. We have three types of selectors. Okay, three types of selectors. First one, ID selector. Second one, class selector. Third one, name name selector. Okay, so these are the uh, not name, element selector. Okay, element selector. So first one, ID selector. So element select ID selector selects elements based on the element ID. Okay, the ID selector, using ID selector we can apply CSS properties with the ID of the HTML element. Use ID of the HTML element to apply CSS properties. Okay, the ID selector selects the elements, okay, with the element ID. So for example, syntax. So we have two paragraphs. Okay, sample paragraph 1 and sample paragraph 2. Okay, two paragraphs is there, but I want to apply different styles for these two paragraphs. Okay, in that scenario we can use ID for the each and every paragraph. P1 and ID equal to P2. So now based on the ID selector, based on the element ID, we can apply different CSS properties. Okay, ID selector uses the ID attribute of HTML element to select a specific element. So create an HTML form, ID selector. So take two paragraphs, okay, like this. And I want to apply different styles for these two paragraphs. Use style tag. So when you are using ID selector, okay, use as symbol and followed by element ID. Okay, so this is the ID selector. So this ID selector find out the paragraphs in the HTML document with the ID P1. Okay, as symbol is used for ID selector. So when you are using ID selectors, use as symbol and followed by element ID. So this is the identification name. Okay, this ID is different for each and every element. So now uh, paragraph background color. Okay, first paragraph background color and text color white color, and second one hash p2 background color blue color, and text color is white color. Okay, so this will find out the paragraph, okay, with ID p1 and p2 and apply that appropriate CSS properties to the appropriate paragraph. Okay, first paragraph background color red color and text color white. Second paragraph background color blue and with the text color is white. Okay, two different paragraphs, two different styles. Okay, this is the id selector. Based on id we are applying different styles. And next one is class selector. Class selector also like id selector, but class selector is faster than id selector. Okay, this is the main difference between id selector and class selector. Okay, class selector also works like id selector, but class selector is faster than id selector. So in real time applications also, so maximum use class selector only. Okay, so in rare cases use id selector. So maximum use class selector when you are applying css properties to the html elements. Okay, css classes to the html elements. So application performance will increase. So because class selector is faster than id selector. Class selector selects elements based on their class name. So same syntax we can use here, two paragraphs. Okay, but here instead of id we can use class. Okay, so this is class name p1 and p2. So create one html form. Class selector. So two paragraphs with class names. Okay, so when you are using class selectors, use dot symbol. Okay, and followed by class name. Dot p1 and dot p2. So like this you can write css properties. Okay, when you are using id selector, use the HTML and followed by id of the element. And when you are using class selector, dot symbol and followed by element class name. So this class find out the element in the HTML document with the class name p1 and with the class name p2 and apply CSS properties. Okay, same class selector dot HTML form. So background color red and blue color and the text color is white. So this is the class selector. Okay, id selector and class selector. Observe these two differences. And finally element selector. So element selector is different for id selector and class selector. Element selector selects elements based on their element name only. Okay, so we can use uh, paragraph. This is sample content, and I want to apply CSS properties. Use style, and directly we can use element name. Okay, directly we can use element name. So this selector selects elements with element name is equal to p or div element or span element or text box or anything. Okay, for any element we can apply like this. Okay, just use element name. Element selector. So take this paragraph. So directly we can use element name and CSS properties like background color, okay, pink color, and the text color. So just use white color. So now run this example. Okay, paragraph background color and text color applied. So for example, if we have number of paragraphs in the HTML document with different content. Okay, so what we can do now? So this example, this property, this class is applied same CSS properties for all the paragraphs. Okay, same styles will apply for all paragraphs. Okay, how many paragraphs is there in the document? Same styles will apply. Okay, if you are using element name, so only it will take the element name to apply CSS properties. Okay, so find out the element with element name equal to p, so that it will apply same, okay, same styles for the all paragraphs. Okay, element selector selects elements based on the element name only, so that all paragraphs are applied same styles. So element selector selects elements with element name is equal to p and apply CSS properties. So to overcome and to apply different styles for the different paragraphs, so you can use ID selector or class selector to apply different CSS properties for the different paragraphs. Okay, if you need same styles for all the paragraphs, you can write like this. Okay, if you write once, so it will apply for all paragraphs. Okay, if you need different styles, you can use class selector or ID selector. So these are the three ways to apply CSS properties to the HTML elements. Okay, ID selector, class selector, and element selector. Next one is text elements. Text elements. So with the CSS, we can arrange alignments. Okay, we can set alignments for HTML elements. Okay, so these alignments are left, right alignment, and the center, and the fourth one, justify. Okay, these are the four alignments. Okay, so left alignment, right alignment, center, and the justify. So using these four elements, we can set the elements for the HTML elements. So like if you want to display paragraph in right side, you can use right element, and by default the text will take left align. Okay, center, you can use center alignment to display text in center align, or you can display, you want to display element in center align, you can use center. And justify, so justify is just is a block of text. Justified text is block of text that aligns on the left and right sides. Adjusting the word and letter spaces, adjusting the word and letter spaces, word and letter spaces in each line of text content, each line of text content text content to make each line same length. Okay, adjusting the word and letter spaces in each line of text to make each line same length. So for example, take one HTML form, text elements. So take one paragraph, this is my sample paragraph, and take one more paragraph. Okay, three paragraphs, and this paragraph is id p1, id equal to p2, and p3. Style, use the as symbol p1. So I want to display first paragraph in right align. Use text align property, right. Okay, so that the paragraph will display in right align. And also second paragraph, text align left, and third paragraph, text align center. So now run this example. These three paragraphs are displaying in different areas. So first paragraph is in right align. Okay, this paragraph is displaying in right side, and second paragraph left side, So left side is common. Okay, you don't need to define left align and center align. Okay, third paragraph is displaying in center align. And
Can you put the paragraphs in the same line, or do they have to be under each other?
each these three paragraphs in different line.
How do you put it in the same line?
Sorry,
How do you put it in the same line?
if you put in same line, also same. So actually, paragraphs takes full width of the page. Okay, so that we can arrange the elements like this: right side, left side, and center align. Just arrange the text content element.
There's no way I can put it in the same line
See,
at all.
we can put the same lines in these three paragraphs in same line. Okay, we can use float property in CSS. Okay, I will explain that one. Okay, in next class for
Okay.
float property. So this is the just elements. Okay, how we can align the text content. So next is justify. So take one more paragraph and the paragraph ID P4. So use some content for paragraph. Okay, so assume that this is the some content to display in paragraph 4. P4 and text align justify and refresh this example. Okay, so what we discussed for justify, adjusting the word and letter spaces in each line of text to make each line same length. Okay, each line will make same length. So we have two lines is there. Okay, so these are the alignments. So next one is text transform property. So this property is used to specify uppercase and lowercase in a text content. Okay, so text transform property is used to specify uppercase and lowercase text content. So syntax, use text transform property. Okay, and uppercase or lowercase or capitalize. Okay, so these values we can use for this property. Okay, text transform property. So the values you can use uppercase or lowercase or capitalize. So these are the three different ways. different text contents. So take 3 paragraphs, same like this. Okay, now apply some CSS properties, text transform property. For T1, text transform property, uppercase. So if you apply this uppercase, okay, so first paragraph total content will be displayed in uppercase. Okay, total, so this content is in lowercase characters, right? Total content is in lowercase characters. So if you apply this uppercase, total content will display in uppercase letters. And second one, text transform property, lowercase. So second paragraph, this is my sample paragraph. Okay, second paragraph total content is in uppercase characters. So if we use this lowercase, the total content will display in lowercase letters. And finally, third paragraph, if we use capitalize, okay, capitalize, so each and every word first letter, okay, each and every word first letter capitalize, okay, capital letter, so will display in capital letter. Okay, so now run this example. Okay, go to inspect and you can see here first paragraph is in small letters, okay, lowercase letters. So but text transform property is converted lowercase into uppercase. And second paragraph total content is in uppercase, but text transform property lowercase value is converted uppercase to lowercase. And third paragraph, so each and every letter, each and every word first letter is in caps. Okay, so this is the text transform property. So we can use these three values to convert the text, okay, text content into uppercase or lowercase or capital letters. Okay, capitalize.